All right. So greetings, scholars. Let me see as far as announcements. No real announcements. Happy homecoming, right? Not that it's a holiday or anything, but hopefully you're enjoying your homecoming, going to events. Your college experience is what you make of it, so just be sure to try to grow yourself on some level, but also make sure to do what you need to do to position yourself for success. As usual, if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself to get my attention. And today, what I'd like to do is continue working on section 2.3. We're going to do the corresponding homework for this section. Exam 3 should become available this Sunday at 11 a.m. and you can earn max credit for the first 7 days. It's due basically on the 7th day or 7 days later. Past the due date, the highest you can earn is at 90%. Okay. Hey Google, change your light brightness to 100%. Okay. Let's hop here. Thank you. Just lay down. Thank you. Let's see. And yeah, we're almost done. After this week, again, next week is going to be devoted entirely to exam 3. So I'll just probably make myself available on those days for questions. And then after next week, we only have 2 sections, 3.1 and 6.4. We're going to have the Thanksgiving. Hey. Lay down. Just lay down. Lay down. Thank you. We'll have the Thanksgiving holiday. We don't have that much remaining. Okay, so let's just hop into section 2.3. Let's see. I'll check my attendance again in about 10 minutes. And if I go here, okay, I think that's it. Yeah, I think this is the group. I need to reorganize this. Hey, Google, give me a random number between 1 and 24.
Here's a random number, 21.
21, okay, let's look at 21. Find only the rational zeros of the function, okay? So let's take a couple of minutes and see if you can find the results to this, all right? And maybe we can distribute points out similar to like how we did last time. First one to put the correct results in the chat gets the credit. Okay, so I'm pulling up the chat, and I'm just gonna give you a couple of minutes, all right? So take a couple of minutes to yourself and see if you can get this correct. Let me see if I got it here. Hey Google, play some non-copywritten music.
Okay, here's top 50 most popular songs by NCS. No copyright sounds on YouTube Music.
All right, so when I see 208 or the first person to submit the correct result, just take a couple of minutes, see if you can solve this one. And to give a little bit of explanation, so you might want to consider, there's a couple of ways you can go about this. What we talked about last was using a rational zero test, which is the P over the Q. Now, if that's not ringing a bell, you definitely want to go back and watch that recording. The full lecture, not the when we meet on like Monday, we're limited in time, so you want to use my pre-recorded lectures. Another technique that I know that you can do, you could graph this on like a graphing utility and just look at the zero or the x-intercept and then use that as a starting point, confirm that it's a zero, and then use that zero to find the other zeros, right? So let's take about another minute or so just to see what you can do. Okay, we got a result. Let's see. Okay. Let's give it a go. I see a 1, -2, plus or minus the square root of 3. You're saying it's 4 zeros? Okay. I think I'm reading this right. So are you saying that the zeros are, let's get rid of this. Turn this down. So yeah, 4 zeros. Okay. Thank you. Off. So let's try those zeros, right? Let me zoom out some so we can see this better. All right, so let's try 1, -2. We got the square root. Let's do a comma, square root of 3, and then comma. I think we can actually just do plus or minus. Let's see, plus minus. No. I'll do plus minus like this. Come on. How do these work? This works. Okay. Okay, let's see. Only other thing I can think is maybe don't do the plus minus symbol. Are you saying that these are 4 separate answers? And you said a yes, so let me try the negative square root of 3. That shouldn't make a difference. Okay, so it's the points are still on the board. So maybe try again, unless I typed it in incorrectly, right? But I don't think so. So let's take another minute or so. All right, so when it says 11. Man, they be letting me down with the bass drops. I need the bass to drop. I needed to drop. That was a joke. I used to watch this series. Man, this is a fantastic series. A little bit slow and weird. The series called The Good Place on Netflix. Man, I felt like I went through like a spiritual catharsis at the end of that series. But it was kind of slow, but I hate to spoil it. But I mean, it's an old series, so I don't mind spoiling things when they're really old. At one point, I had this thing. I was thinking, like, okay, if we are eternal, and either in the sense of heaven, hell, or reincarnation, or whatever, it seems like if I were this being that was like all powerful, all knowing, omnipotent, omniscient, all this stuff, it seems like you would be bored, because you would know everything that happens and have control over everything. It seems like boredom would be a real concern for a being like that. So then it's like, I don't know, I kind of lost. I was like, if you just had all power, it seems like you would be concerned about being bored. So then to me, that explains this reality where we have this sense of forgetfulness, like we forget that we're these, magnanimous, these divine beings. We just don't remember. Then I feel like for a being that's all powerful, then you wouldn't be bored for all eternity. All right. That kind of alludes to the ending of the series. But it wasn't all bad. It was like, okay, this kind of makes a little bit more sense. Kind of like the Thor when he lost his powers and then he went on this journey to. I really do not like it when like superheroes lose their powers. I don't like those. It's a weird feeling. But it was, to me, I felt like weird. Actually, Thor we just forgot. We just don't remember. Okay, so let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. So we get one attempt, right? Because we got it wrong twice. We'll go ahead and take at least one attempt. Okay. So find the rational zeros. Okay, so let me start by getting a copy of this guy. And again, that wasn't any kind of rhetoric or anything. It's just there was something that made me think about The Good Place. I can't remember what it was. Let's go like this. Oh, gotta be quick. Ooh, lost it. He was like, oh man, it's like going to a concert and it's an EDM concert and then the bass never drops. It's like, yeah, I hate that feeling when you building and building and building and it doesn't drop. You're like, ugh, come on, stop messing with me. Okay, so we want to do the rational zero test, right? So if we're going to do the rational zero test, it's going to be our P over Q. It turns down just a little bit more. That's fine. And I mean, this is fine for now. So what this is going to generate a list of possible rational zeros from this polynomial, not the actual rational zeros, but a list of possible rational zeros. So it generates a list for us to start with. The factors of P come from our constant term. In this case, that's 6. So the factors of 6 are going to be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, and then I guess plus or minus 6. And then for the Q, that comes from the factors of our leading coefficient. In this case, our leading coefficient is a 1. So basically, it's going to be all the red over 1, which is just gives us this list. Okay. So this gives us a list of possible rational zeros for this polynomial. So then a good one to start with is just 1. So if we put 1 in the chair as our possible zero, then we can do synthetic division. Get the coefficients, right? So we have our 1, 1, let me see, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me see, 1, 1, negative 5, negative 3, and 6, okay? So then when we do synthetic division, the first digit just drops. On the diagonal, we multiply. Vertically, we add, we multiply, we add, we multiply, we add, we multiply, and negative, we add, and we get a remainder of 0. So that confirms that 1 is indeed one of our zeros. Let's see. Can we factor that? Okay. So we've confirmed, let me highlight it so we know that this is this. We've confirmed that as one of our zeros. Sometimes these things occur. Let me see. Let me try to factor it first. I might be able to factor it. So if 1 is our 0, then the factor form is going to be x minus 1. Since we started with a degree 4, we're now at a degree 3 at this point. Okay, like this. So okay, maybe I can do the box method. No. 4 more things. Can we do that here? Okay, I'm going to try factor by grouping. All right, I have 4 or more terms. So let me try factor by grouping to see if I get this to work. I'm going to start by grouping the first 2 terms together. If I group the first 2 terms, we can factor out, it looks like an x squared, but that's going to be a what? X plus 2. Okay, I think it might work. So if we factor out x squared from each of those terms, we're going to be left with, let me see, an x plus 2. Okay. In the second set of terms, it looks like we can factor out a negative 3 from both of those. Hopefully, let me see, if we factor out negative 3, we're going to be left with, is it x plus 2? Does that work? It looks like x plus 2 does work. And that's what we wanted, right? We wanted the double green thing. Okay. So then since we have the common binomial factor, we can factor out that common binomial factor. Okay. So then we're going to get the x minus 1 comes down. We just factored out the common binomial factor. And then that leaves us with x squared minus 3. Now, wait a minute. This looks like what was given. Maybe we had some signs wrong. Okay. So I think this is the completely factored form of the original. Okay. Okay, so then if we solve, so now we have 2 or more things that multiply to give us 0. So then we can use the 0 factor property, right? Set each factor to 0 and solve. So from the first factor, we get x equals 1. That's the 0 that we found earlier. The second one, we get x equals negative 2. Now, wait a minute. I really feel like this is what was given to us. Square root of 3 and negative square root of 3, plus or minus. Oh, okay. I see what we did wrong. These zeros are actually correct. We didn't follow instructions. all right? The instructions say find only the rational zeros. Square root of 3 and negative square root of 3 are not our rational zeros, right? So I'll give him the points because he actually found the zero. So it was actually correct. We just didn't follow the instructions. Let's go ahead and close this out, right? So then if we set this guy to 0 and solve, we add 3 and take the square root, we get x equals plus or minus the square root of 3. Rational zeros. So the other one is correct, but we need to submit only 1 and negative 2. It's something like if something like that happened on an exam, if you bring it to my attention, I would actually give you credit for that. You went above and beyond. You just didn't follow the instructions properly, but you understood the concept, right? So I would totally give you credit for that. Okay, so 1 and negative 2. So we just need to remove the square roots, and I will give Mr. Boyd the credit for that. It should be correct. So remove the square roots. Right. All right. So okay. So let me log that and check my attendance. This was Mr. Boyd. All right. Okay. Done. Nice. Okay. All right, and then hop over to Zoom, just here. Okay, Cole, Bond, and Johnson. Cole. I think Brown was here. He must have got booted. And then where's Johnson? Okay, so then on my end, I have a total 17. Yes, that's correct. Let them in. And let me mark these gentlemen as absent. Okay. All right. Okay. So we got some points distributed. Let's see if we can get some more distributed. Now, I will say that I did notice that earlier there weren't too many multiple choice. So, we're going to do the best we can with that. Hey, Google, give me a random number between 1 and 24. I think she said 20. Okay. Find all rational zeros of the given polynomial. Ooh, this was more challenging. Yeah, let's give it a go. Let's take a couple of minutes. Let's see what you guys can do. All right. So we're going to reset the clock. And then once you get it, just like put it in the chat. Let me see. A timer would be nice. Where can I load a timer? That might work. Let's go. Timer. Like, we can do, let's do 2 minutes. Start. I'll just use this. I still got a minute. Oh, and it's not going to match on your end, so you have to use this. You're not gonna let me put it back? All right. I'll close it out.
Wow, what time is it?
Okay. All right.
Wow. Gonna go to the urine.
Oh, that's okay. Let me pull this back.
I'm gonna go to the urine.
Mute. Okay, I think we got that, but now I think we lost our question. So give me just a moment. Sign in. I think I got an alternative for the timer for the work. Allow. This one. I thought closing the window would stop it. It did not, and it was suppressed, and it was gone. I was like, man, I cannot put this thing back up. Okay, okay. Give me just a moment. I'll put that back. I'll pull it up in just a moment. So we're working on the 2 p.m. (2.3). Which one did we leave off? I think it was 8 or 24. Let's try 24. Not 24. I don't know. 8 is fine. Okay. And then, come on. Let me check the chat. I was wondering if we would schedule outside the class to get my mind in order and work. I'm not sure what you mean. Like you want to do like a private session. That's what my tutor, that's what the tutoring is. I mean, we can. Yeah, we can. Let's see, outside of class to get my math lab in order and work. Is it that yours is like not working? If it's like if you ordered it and like you haven't got an access code, that's something you'd have to take up with either. There's one of 3 sources, either the Morehouse bookstore, the mathematics department chair, and or Pearson. Between the 3 of those, somebody would have a solution for you. If you just want to practice, that's where my office hours come into play. My office hours are Monday and Wednesdays from 10 to noon. And we can do other times as well. Like if you're working on your homework and you get stuck, you can click on the Ask My Instructor. It wasn't this one, doggone it. I wish I knew which one we left off on. Okay, I'll open this one up. But yeah, use the Ask My Instructor. It'll send me a screenshot of your question and I'll load it. And we can kind of, I'll load it and do a dedicated video response. Let me make the poll available for this one. Okay. So this one's available for everybody. I know we were working on one, we lost it just because of the timer thing. Okay, this one says use the factor theorem and synthetic division to decide whether the second polynomial is a factor of the first, right? So I'm going to try the timer one more time, and I think I know how to fix it. You got a 50-50 chance if you just guessed at this one, right? Let's take 2 minutes, right? So let me set the timer. Give me just a moment. I'm coming right back. We're going to take 2 minutes. Reset. 2 minutes. Start. Okay, so I think I can see it. Yes, I can see the timer in upper right. That's perfect. So we got our timer going. Oh, there's a vote for B. Okay, we're gonna let the timer run. Okay, might want to use critical thinking. I don't know if B is correct. I know my students earlier, people had an opportunity for points. They just followed. I don't know if it's right or not. I don't know what the answer is. So you might want to just confirm before you submit. But they all got it wrong. They all went into the same number and it was wrong. I was like, oh. And so a lot of people missed out on points as a result. Still got a minute, 20 seconds. Yes, the timer is working. I like that. It's in the little tabs. That's all I wanted was something to show the time. Counting down. Fearless. 60 seconds to go. Fearless. Week 11, 2.3, dividing polynomials, rational zero test, let's go. Use factor theorem, go. Synthetic division to decide whether the second polynomial is a factor of the... Oh, we got to vote for the other one. We still got 30 seconds. 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh, man. Uh-oh. Well, somebody's right. Somebody's wrong. You know, that's how these things go. Let's see how we're going to distribute the points. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. This was okay. Talking about the music. I don't know which one is right. So we're going to find out. All right. Let it drop. Oh, I gotta hear it drop. Let's see what happens. Come on. Come on. Okay, and that wasn't too bad. I can feel it. Okay. So let's see which one is correct. I'll leave the poll open while we do some work. Let me pull this up. Let me take some notes. You know what? I just realized I had the notes on the other slide, but that's okay. We'll go with this. So we could go back to the one that we were working before. All right, we're gonna go here. I bet you the timer is about to go off, but at least I can access this. Oh no! Ooh, that was close. All right, we're gonna drop here. All right. Let's see. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's see. So when we do synthetic division, the remainder must be 0. If x plus 2 is our factor, then our 0 will be what? -2 goes in the chair. -2 goes in the chair. Then we take the coefficients, right? We have a power of 4, so that's going to be a 5, 4, -6, 14, 18. And I don't think we need any placeholders, right? Every power is accounted for. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, right? So we didn't need any placeholders. So then if we do synthetic division on this guy, the first number just comes down. That's a 5. On a diagonal, we multiply, then we add, we multiply, we add, we multiply, we add, we multiply. Ooh, so what is that? 14, which is not 0. So is it a factor? I would have gone with no. Let me check it one more time. 5, 4, -6, 14, 18. 5, -10, -6, +12, 6, -12, +2, -4, not 0, right? So we didn't get a 0 for a remainder. So I feel like no should be the correct answer. Chance, if you just guess, you got a 50-50 chance of being correct, but chance favors the prepared mind, right? So chance favors the prepared mind. Okay, so we got no. Let's go with no. Oh, D doesn't want any points. Whoever put D doesn't want points at all. Oh, shoot, that's fine. I meant to hit final check. Okay, so let's see who gets the credit here. Download the results. Actually, I just want to view in the browser. So those that answered B. Yeah. Come on. You are like really messing up my rhythm. I don't know the comment. Nope, 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 that's not the right one. I said I definitely did this before class. It's making me do it again, but that's okay. As long as it keeps moving. Okay. It's not even what I wanted. Let's try to see. Just want to view. There we go. Okay, so let me update Hill, right? Joel, and I guess I need to check there again. Okay. Right here. Come on. Come on. Done. This one. Done. Okay. Okay. We've got a lot. Baker, Boyd, and Glover Tate. Baker, Boyd, and Glover Tate. Let me see. Shepard, Baker, Boyd, and Glover Tate. Boyd. Okay. And last but not least. Okay. All right, cool. I think I logged it. Okay. I think I got it. Let's keep it moving. We got a solid 10 minutes. Okay. So those that got it correct, I logged it. Let's close. Okay. All right. Hey, Google, give me a random number between 1 and 24. 17. Okay, so these points are available in the chat. So the first one to get this correct in the chat, I'll put a couple of minutes on the clock, and we're working this example. Let me restart my timer, reset, start. So we'll take a couple of minutes there. So 1 minute, 30 seconds. One minute. 30 seconds.
To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
8, 7, 5, 3. All right, so I'll leave the points on the board for just a little bit longer. Find the rational zeros. Okay. Let's get a copy. Need. This will be the last one for the day. Okay. So we're asked to find the rational zeros, right? So again, you could either just use your graphing calculator, look at the zero, and then confirm that it's a zero. Let me start by getting a copy of the original. So we have this of x equals x cubed plus 11x squared plus 31x plus 21. If we do our rational zero test, which is our p over our q, our q is our leading coefficient, which is just a 1, so that makes it simple. Our p comes from the factors of the constant term, which are the factors of 21. That's going to be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3. I think it's just plus or minus 7 and plus or minus 21, right? These are all the factors of 21. So then let's start with 1. 1 is oftentimes a good one to start with when we do our synthetic division. So we take our coefficients, 1, 11, 31, and 21, okay? So the first digit just comes down. On the diagonal, we multiply, we add, we multiply, we add. It looks like 1 is not a 0, right? That's 23, 33, I mean, no, 43. Yeah, 43, 43, and then 64. So that's not a 0, right? So we can strike 1. Let's try negative 1. Okay. So then we have our 1, 11, 31, and 21. 1, negative 1, 10, negative 10, 21, negative 21. That is good, right? So we found our first 0. Okay, so since we started with a degree 3, at this point, we have a degree 2. So that's an x squared plus 10x plus 21. So then if we put these together, if negative 1 is our 0, then our factor is going to take on the form x plus 1. And then we still have this x squared plus 10x plus 21. Okay, the points are officially off the board for this question. So we have our x plus 1. We're trying to see, can we factor the trinomial of this form, or we have x and x. They're the same and they're both positive, 7 and 3. Okay. So then it looks like our zeros are going to be negative 1, negative 3, and negative 7. Notice that these are in our list. So in our list of possible rational zeros, we confirm, then we should check to make sure that these guys are actual zeros. But since we're out of time, I'm just going to go with these. We got negative 1, negative 3, and negative 7. Settings. Turn it off. Negative 1, negative 3, negative 7. Okay. All right. All right. So let's see, just to close out. So we had a few participants. Let me see. Far. So the top prize is our first place. That's going to be worth 10 points out of 100 for the semester. Second prize, that's going to be worth 5 points. And if you participated in the form of getting a question correct, we'll give you 3 points for that. All right. Okay, so let's see who's in my list today. Okay, so my records show we have Mr. Bond, okay, Mr. Boyd, Mr. Glover Tate, Mr. Johnson, and then I got Mr. Shepard Baker. Sorry if I'm spelling it wrong. Yeah, and then Mr. Winston. I think I did that right. So then the top prize, let me see, is it close? I think it's close. Okay. Ooh, okay. No, is that this class? See, that's what I need to think. Okay, so I think there's one top prize. Sure, I can do that. So our top prize goes to here. Yeah, our top prize goes to Mr. Boyd. All right, so he earned 10 points today. So it's the reason I'm kind of pausing. I think everybody else was tied for a second, right? We didn't get like that clear, separation. So I think everybody else is tied for second. So if you're on this list, that means you earned at least 5 points, with the exception of one. Everybody else, everybody here gets at least 5 points instead of 3. Okay. Are there any burning questions before we go our separate ways? Let me update my thing here. I probably could do it automatically. Okay, if there aren't any burning questions, we're actually going to go ahead and end the session here. And from one beautiful mind to another, have a great weekend. Also, exam 3 is going to be available on Sunday. All right, guys, take care. Enjoy the homecoming. Take care. Peace. Does somebody have a question? I see a hand raised.
Yeah, I had a question. When I sent my message in the chat box earlier, I meant to so every time I try to log in or use my access code, it says it's not working, and I didn't know if it was
You got
because
bookstore, Morehouse Bookstore.
yeah, I went to the Morehouse bookstore and I got the access code.
So
And-
then, the access code that they give you, there's going to be a different website that you have to go to. So you have to go back to the email where they send it to you. There should be a link, this auxiliary website. You put your access code in that auxiliary website, and then they're going to give you an access code for My Math Lab.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
up in there.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Okay.
You have a good day, Professor.
You as well.